sending the Werthers! Fuck! Werther's original. Delicious.
Not a sponsor of this podcast.
In the grim
Still
darkness
good.
of the far future, there is only war, and tonight there's only Werthers.
You're recording?
And whiskey.
Alright.
Welcome to the welcome to the Tainted Hive Season 2 Children of Rokarth, where we play through Warhammer 40,000 Imperium Maledictum by Cubicle 7. I'm your GM Brad, joined by Carl, Alex, Justin, Mike, Werther's, Whiskey, and PrimetimeMagic.com, our
There it
show
is.
sponsor for the second season of the Tainted Hive. Huge thank you to those gentlemen over there for helping to support us to bring this to you. You too can own all of the magic cards that you want to buy from PrimetimeMagic.com and their beautiful collection of singles. Save Alex. Save Carl. Someone insert Sarah McLachlan and the PETA song to make everyone feel bad and go buy magic cards.
Just me with an empty deck box.
It's just Alex with,
Melissa, please.
it's Alex with an empty deck box, and Primetime Magic is just behind his head. On that note, they've done a really amazing thing sponsoring us. We appreciate it. Go show them some love. Buy your magic cards from them. They will have more stuff in the future. But for now, let's talk about Werther's, Whiskey, and Warhammer, and the Tainted Hive.
And Werther's original.
Northwest.
WWW. Let's go.
WWW, Werther's, Whiskey, and Warhammer. Last time on the Tainted Hive, having crash landed to the southwest of Voll, you all had a hearty discussion of things that trying to decide where to go. Roderick decided to sit back in a chair that he had sat in not 5 minutes before, even though it felt like it was multiple weeks, and not leave the shuttle, even though he had kind of decided to leave the shuttle. Dmitry took a position of mutual support, was your verbiage, right?
What? Oh yeah,
You took
mutual
a-
supporting firing position, something along those lines.
So along those
Not
lines.
being a useless fuck inside a bulkhead. That
And Mordecai joined you. And Osiris made a few comments that caused a little concern amongst the party, mostly around acquiring the gear that is needed. And you watched as a group of 6, what you now know are stiltwalkers, or that's a term for them, took down what appeared, or what they stated was an Asenati, one of the huge natural creatures and predators of Voll itself. Now, these creatures predate the Imperium taking over the planet. They are massive, they are multifaceted, they are varied. And while you don't know everything about them, you caught enough from the conversation from the 2 gentlemen who came over to realize that there are many different forms of Asenati, not just the one you see.
I'm trying to decide if Osiris is mean or Carl just really wants to be in combat since he hasn't had Warhammer combat yet.
Do you know?
Little
Could be
column
bit
A,
of
little
both.
column B.
Why
False
not
choice.
both?
Right.
Why not both? So where we left off last time, the 2 gentlemen who had walked over were walking away. Their stilt feet suctioning out of the mud. Mordecai, Roderick, you had gotten absolutely no malicious vibes from them in any shape, way, or form. You had elected to potentially begin walking, or potentially assault these gentlemen and take their equipment. But before that decision can even be made for you, Mordecai, Dmitry, and Roderick, I need an awareness sight check. Osiris?
Didn't I already do one of these?
Yeah, it's a new one. Osiris, I will let you use whatever awareness you want, but I need an awareness check from you as well. I know you have your psychic...
Cynitions.
I know you have your Cynitions and your psychic... what's your psychic sight? Is that the preternatural senses?
Yes.
So I know you've got preternatural senses running.
Hang on. Let me just see.
77 over 51.
That adds, just so you know that I ignore penalties from poorly lit or dark environmental traits.
It's not neither poorly lit nor dark. It is obscured.
I can use perception tests then.
Yeah, you can still use a perception test, which, awareness is based on perception.
Yeah.
So perception is the base stat block in this game. Awareness is the test under that base stat block that you take advances in.
Oh, well then, yeah, I'm going to do just an awareness test.
Please do. So Mordecai, 77 over 50.
Yeah.
Bad.
51.
-2. Dmitry?
58 over 31.
-2. Roderick.
79 over 45.
Beautiful. -3. And Osiris, please tell me you did better than these three fools.
What was the difficulty?
It will be a challenging 0.
Challenging 0.
Even though
I
it's
will also
obscured.
point out Dmitry did have his auspex out. Just saying.
He did.
Did.
It's not an Auspex test.
Yeah,
Otherwise, I would
just
just let
checking.
that happen.
That was I get a
Actually.
+1 from my Ever Vigilant, but that's still a 60 over 59. So a plus. No, that'd be a +0.
If you rolled a 60 over 59 and you get 1 success level from your talent, you would go from a -1 to a +0. So you do succeed. So Osiris, Mordecai, you're tracking these people through your scope as they walk away. Dmitry, you are at this point beginning to feel uncomfortable and that you guys should begin walking, and you're kind of looking over your shoulder on the path you should head. Roderick, you think you just had a really great conversation. You did a great job. Cloud of smoke in front of your own face. Osiris,
Himself on back. Good work, Roderick Wrangler.
with your
Another one
preternatural,
in the books.
with your preternatural senses, which allow you to see through the warp because you don't have physical eyes. You feel the pulse of air movement. You feel the heat of something streaking towards you fast.
No.
You watch as a tubular shaped object streaks towards the two people walking towards you. Walking away from you. The rest of you see the result of this, which is a plume of smoke and fire as a frag rocket strikes one of the Stiltwalkers, and chunks of plasteel and flesh in every direction. We are officially in initiative order.
Well, shit.
Nope.
You said that was a. I saw. You said it was a worm.
You have just
A
enough.
rocket.
Yeah, it was a
Rocket.
rocket. So the way you're, because you don't physically see, you
And
use
which
the warp
direction
to
did
see,
it come from?
from your right. So you're
Alright.
looking at the back of
It
the
came
shuttle. It's
from
from
the-
your right.
Since I did actually pass that test, I'm actually going to say from what there.
Okay. So real quick, Dmitry and Mordecai, you don't see anything to shoot at. So while you have your hidden position, we are now in standard initiative order. So top of the round is going to be Roderick.
I, in shock, look at where the rocket just exploded and go, oh, fuck.
As you look where it exploded, the legs of the Stiltwalker that was struck, the individual struck was the one with the gun.
Mm-hmm.
The legs of the Stiltwalker are still standing in the mud, steaming and smoking where they've exploded off. The rest of him is in multiple pieces all over the place, and the one who spoke to you is trying to pick himself up out of the acidic slurry as it's pouring off of his head.
So the stilts are still there. Cool.
That's what I'm.
No.
That's what I'm.
No.
You
No,
said the
those
legs
are-
were still intact,
The
right?
legs are there below the knee. What remains of the legs is still standing in the muck. The rest
Right.
of it's in pieces.
On top of the stilts,
No.
which is what we're seeing.
No. The remains of the the remains of the stilts legs are still standing and smoking.
Half of them.
Yeah,
Half of the stilt, not
half
the
of
leg.
the he got
Half
hit
of
with
the
a frag
device.
rocket, boys. There's nothing left.
I got you.
Okay.
You said legs. I got confused. Carry on.
I realize now that you guys were very excited to hear legs.
wanted
thinking
those
I meant
stilts.
flesh. I mean metal.
I was just trying to find the silver linings, Brad, but carry on. No silver linings. Got it.
Still your turn.
What do I got here, man? I don't know. Do I
Osiris?
have cover that I can go into? Is there a spot I can get to where I could see what's going on, where that rocket came from better? Do I feel
So,
like I could?
Osiris has told you that the rocket came from the right. He
Yep.
was able to tell that. You see no targets. You see no blatant cover aside from the trees that are scattered around or the ship that you're in already. But remember, your ship has already been hit by a rocket once.
Sure.
Beyond that, there's not much. You're in an acid marsh.
Yep. I guess I'll go around the left side of the ship, not
Okay.
the right side.
So you're going to
and
step off to the left. All
I'm
right.
going to hug around the left side of the ship alongside of it, and I'm going to try and get up to the front of the ship. I don't know how
Yeah, you can do
much
that.
of a zone there is. And
That's all going to be one zone. You can even use the ship as cover if you stay hugging
that's
it.
kind of what I'm doing.
Perfect.
And then I want to peek around and see if I can see what my elf eyes would see.
Okay. So as you peek around it, So you move into a zone because you're moving out of the ship and into the surrounding zone. That's your move action piece.
Fair
and
enough.
then taking cover would actually eat your total action. So you can't make a test at this time to look, but you can still just start looking in that direction.
Yep. I'm assuming if I look around the corner and it is something that is within just plain vision, I wouldn't need a test. So I'm
Correct.
checking for that first. to be
Correct.
clear,
You don't
if
see
I-
anything as of yet.
Okay. Then I'm just going to say into the Vox bead, I don't see nothing.
Okay. After
We
Roderick.
need to get out of this shell.
After Roderick is...
Already out of it. What's taking you so long?
I'm next.
It is
Initiative.
you, Mordecai. It is you. Yes.
Are you sure it's
Mordecai?
Mordecai?
I just checked. It's
Yes.
Mordecai.
I have the higher reflexes.
Hmm.
What's your problem, Justin? We need to talk?
Maybe. It's because you left chat so many times earlier when we were playing Space Marine, but carry on.
Oh, never mind. Yeah, you are right. Before we played, sure.
Yep.
Anyway, so I guess I will say into the Vox bead, which direction did it come from? As I start scanning out past where I would think it came from based on where the
To the ship's right.
So you know that.
ship.
Now, where you and Dmitry took cover, you went
Technically, the ship's
northwest.
left because we're looking out the hangar doors.
So
but-
northeast.
So where you and Dmitry,
Yeah, give me
Dmitry
a
went,
direction.
you and Dmitry went northwest of the ship.
Yep.
At the ship where the landing platform stepped down. It'd be further past that southeast of the ship or east of the ship, one of the two. You would basically, Mordecai, from where you're at currently,
the
to
opposite
look, you just-
direction.
No. It's the direction you're looking. So you're looking at the landing doors, which is to your southeast or east.
Yes.
And
I
the
meant the
rocket
opposite
came-
direction of where we went.
Correct. The rocket came
Okay.
from opposite of where you and Dmitry went. Absolutely.
Well, perfect. I'm looking back that way then.
You
so I will just continue to scan and hope that do I see a shadow? Do I see...
You can give me a
Anything
perception
discernible?
check. You can give me an awareness check, yeah. Awareness
Sure
check.
can.
Now that you know the direction you're looking, I'm going to call it a challenging +0. You're not going to get the negative.
Cool. That's 18 under 51.
Okay. So a +4 is an impressive success, which is the yes and, which is my favorite one. Not only do you see a faint... let's walk that back. You, coming from a feral world, are used
Yes.
to some of the mists and fogs of your world. You're used to tracking things that move through these mists and fogs and the way that the moisture swirls around where something is passed. And using those skills, leaning on those skills, you actually see where the rain had, as you quickly snap to, is starting to close in on these whirls that the rocket had caused. You're able to track them back to a general area, and as you pan your weapon, you do see a faint outline that looks like a stump at first, until you see it move slightly, and as it moves, you make out the shape of what is probably a man, a woman, a person of some kind, and a large tube-shaped object on a shoulder.
Oh, yeah, I'm shooting.
Okay. Now, you are within range. However, you are going to suffer the penalty for vision being obscured. You can see the shadow. You don't see the person themselves. So you're going to make your test at a -10.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes, I do want to argue with you, but that's... No,
Feel
it's
free.
okay.
No, it's Warhammer. Argue. Tell
Whether
me.
whether I shoot a clear picture of a person or their shadow, it's the same size.
Correct. I don't disagree with you at all.
That's okay.
What you don't know of, though, is the shadow where the person actually is.
Okay, that's fine. Minus
All
10.
right. -10. Uh-oh.
Hold on, I
might even change that. I'm gonna quickly double check obscured. It might not be -10. It might just be something a little different. So when
you let me know. It's an 11 under 46.
ooh, that's a great number.
It's 46 with the -10.
No, sorry. No,
So this is what I was
36,
afraid
if it's
of.
got minus 10.
A zone,
regardless.
a zone filled
Yeah.
with mist, steam, or light rain is lightly obscured. Now you rolled an 11, so this doesn't matter. But just for the rest of you, when a zone is obscured, ranged attacks into that zone are at disadvantage. A disadvantaged 11 is still an 11. You pull the
So
trigger.
it's still 46. Nice.
So it's 11 under 46.
Yeah, so it's still an 11 under 46.
Yep.
Sick.
So you pull the trigger, and as your round goes, you see the mist again wrapping around the bullet. You watch as the bullet cleaves through, and you realize, almost a little too late, that you aimed a little off, because as it's moving, you see as the lighting is slightly offset. But despite that, as you go, oh shit, like you're off by like an inch, you watch as the person shoulders the tube and turns, and as they do, the bullet hits. So, while they were obscured, and while you were disadvantaged, which would make it a lot harder, a little bit of luck went your way. What I need you to do, please, is roll me a d10 for where the critical strike hits.
It's the opposite of Roderick sneezing in season 1.
Basically, yes. It's the exact opposite of a Roderick.
The karma has come full circle. I hope it's the same person that caused that whole bullshit.
That's a 1, sir.
That's a headshot.
Hell yeah. Let's go.
You have struck an individual who doesn't see you with surprise, which is an automatic critical, plus you've critically struck, so that's a beautiful thing.
Poof pow, be gone.
What I need from you is I need to know how many wounds of damage you do first before we roll the critical.
Okay, so the sniper rifle is a 8 damage plus I was 5 success levels.
11 under 46 is a 3.
36, 26, 16. Yeah, you're right. Okay. I don't know what I was counting. So 3 success levels. 11.
11 wounds.
And then we have 1 superiority from Dmitry.
You do, which makes it 12.
12.
Okay, so 12 wounds to the head. All right,
God
so
damn.
you fire the round, and you watch as the shadow smacks as it hits the head. I need you to roll me a d10 for the critical wound, and I will tell you what happens.
Is this a surprise attack then too?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
0 or 10, I guess.
Okay. So 10. All right. So because this is a non-named creature, the criticals kill automatically when you do enough wounds. So they don't have the ability to hold critical wounds. So what happens to them? So basically the way this happens is if it's a non-named creature, to do enough damage to a critical wound, you normally have already killed them. In this case, you didn't kill them. So they're going to suffer the impacts of the critical, but they can't have or hold multiple criticals. Does that make sense? Like a named NPC can suffer 2 critical wounds before they're considered dying. A non-named NPC, you can crit the hell out of them. When they hit 0, they hit 0. They're gone, right?
Okay.
You don't kill him. But you watch as your round, as he had turned his head, your round punches through the cheekbone and out the nose. And just enough of the mist clears as you watch as a chunk of the face just blows off.
God damn.
The individual suffers a broken nose. They are now bleeding actively.
Sounds like a missing nose to me, but dude.
And you watch as
It's amputation.
the person with this reaches up to their face, grabs it, and just falls into the muck. They're still moving, but they're not dead. But you're pretty damn sure they're gonna be dead pretty darn quick.
And Acid's
I'm
going to
gonna-
have their way with that wound.
I'm just going to continue scanning the area, and I'll say into the Vox speed, you see another one.
Good shot.
After you, Mordecai, is Osiris.
I'm looking around the immediate area of the crash site for a fairly large, not too heavy looking piece of the sheet metal that was the side of the ship that we crashed in.
Okay. So just as a reminder, Mordecai looked for that last time. There were no spare pieces of metal anywhere, just so you don't waste time.
Oh, there's nothing at all.
No,
Yeah.
because Dmitry gaslit the
unfortunate.
machine spirits into a nice soft landing. So you did land without completely
There's a bunch
destroying
of
the
loose
ship.
There's a bunch of loose metal where that dude got his walker blown up though.
There are chunks of metal there, yeah.
What is the range of that guy from me?
So he was walking away, so he'd be a full zone away when he erupted in an explosion of fire.
Oh shit. So there's
But
nothing.
you still
really-
have your movement. Like you can move
Right,
as
but
own.
there's no loose objects. Everything is completely strapped down, and we crashed nice and neat, just like park.
thanks to Dimitri's gaslighting of the machine spirits, and I love using that term because that is exactly what happened. The pilot did manage to pull up the crash so that the ship did not.
But there's
You think it was like-
there's no loose objects anywhere in my immediate vicinity.
No rocks, nothing.
There's rocks under the acid, sure, but like if
Sure,
you're
okay.
looking for something big metal,
I'm gonna
no.
use my far graphs to
Okay.
find a rock that's wide enough to cover the top of me.
Okay.
Like a manhole cover. But not a real manhole cover. A rock. Like a slab of rock.
Okay. Keep telling me what you're looking to do, and I'm going to see.
And I'm going to
what you find.
attempt to do some far grasping to levitate it above my head.
Trying to create like a little,
Like an umbrella.
almost like an umbrella.
Like a stone umbrella that's floating above me.
Here's what I'll tell you. You don't find a rock that big per se because you're in a bog almost. You do manage to find a stump that you can pull out a huge chunk of like stump that remains that could do that.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So you're like looking for that and you don't really see it and you go to take a step off of the actual landing thing and you realize that off to your left there's the rotting remains of a stump.
Mhm.
You could pull off it's about a 2 foot by like 1 foot, basically acid rotted piece. So it's creating a cover, but it doesn't weigh much.
Right. So like a slice of the bark or something.
Yeah, almost like a huge chunk of bark that's like dry rotted, so it's super lightweight, but it at least provides physical
Yeah,
cover. For your head.
I had one of those floating above me, and I'm gonna step out onto the landing dock and like kind of gauge where the rest of the party is at.
Okay.
And I saw where Dmitry and Mordecai hunkered down in the trees, right?
Nobody saw where that happened.
Nobody saw
They
that.
left. They hung a left, and they
Well-
went off.
Given that I know only where Roderick is, I'm sticking with my battle buddy and not going any further yet.
Okay, so you hug a left, and you follow him, hanging a piece of bark above your head to prevent the rain from hitting you.
Hmm.
Okay, all right, that's your turn. That'll bring us to it would be you, Dmitry, but it's not you. So the
Bro.
individual Mordecai that you shot as you're watching him, and for flares, your sniper rifle, are you seeing it like a bolt action? It doesn't say in the book that it has to be, but are you seeing it as a bolt action, or are you seeing like a semi-automatic?
I see it as more of like a Barrett 50 cal.
Okay, all right. So you're sitting there and you're watching, and you see as the individual you shot goes to stand up and like again reaches up to their face, pulls back a hand, and you see is just there's like blood is just running. They actually stagger close enough into sight that you see them. They're in faded Astra Militarum fatigues. They are covered in, at this point, mud and slurry, and you have blasted a huge chunk off of their standard flak helmet that has been blown away with a chunk of their jaw and their face. And you see as they look up, and they have almost this look of panic on their face as they die from their bleeding. They had suffered a major bleed, which was 3 wounds at the end of their turn. And as they look up, they just go and just fall face first into muck.
You said he was wearing a
Can be
faded
quite-
Astra Militarum uniform?
It appears to be a faded
Can
Astra
be
Militarum uniform.
can be quite panic inducing.
He died like shit.
However,
Jesus.
the next thing to follow, Roderick and Osiris. Roderick, you don't even need to test for this, and Osiris, you won't either, as you guys are taking cover behind the ship, looking out in the direction that rocket came from. A second rocket comes streaking into play, crashes into the shuttle.
Which part of the shuttle?
The cockpit.
That's not great for me.
The shuttle's cockpit explodes into a blast of plasteel and glass. I need Roderick and Osiris. I need you both to make I think it's just a dexterity check, or an agility check.
Reflex? No?
Reflex agility check should be what it is. I'm just double checking the round used.
Also, I don't think Osiris was in direct cover on the shuttle, so he's probably in a little better condition from it than I would be.
I will say this,
but
Osiris, you said you were sticking near Roderick. I'm not going to assume that means on top of him. Where would you have been, essentially?
I would have been just coming right around the edge of the bulkhead.
Okay.
Or whatever the threshold of the door in the back is called. I don't know the actual term for that. The portcullis, we'll call it.
the thingamadoober.
All right, so the round used...
Cargo hold?
You're a cargo hold.
They have this
Yes, I am.
trait Give me 1 second. I'm just double checking what a trait does so I get it
Beautifully
right.
bearded cargo hold.
Beautifully bearded
Thanks,
cargo
babe.
hold. Okay. Roderick, this is bad. So the
I like bad.
round that explodes at the cockpit, you have almost that like super high adrenaline moment where the world slows for 1 second, 2 seconds, and you watch as the round streaks towards the cockpit. You're not very well versed in explosives, but you know enough that when Imperial Navy ships, like fighter ships, are arming missiles, they have a couple different kinds. Especially if they're in ground combat, they have frag missiles, frag rockets. They tend to be a greenish color with a red tip. Then you have crack missiles, or crack rockets, which are red with a black tip. Anti-armor, penetrating, small explosive blast, but extremely dangerous to arm. And as the world slows for just that 10th of a second, you realize that this fucker's red and black. And it's going right at the ship that you had been on. You also realize that this is probably what hit the ship in the first place to take an engine out as quick as it did. So, it crashes into the bulkhead. And I want to be clear, you guys are not seeing me roll dice. I rolled all of these dice at the end of last session, recorded the values, and held onto them because it was happening and you guys started RPing, and I'm like, I need to hold these attacks. Because we're not going to throw them at you while you guys are RPing. But the rocket crashes into the ship. And I will throw this out there so you don't think I rolled these with the intent of where they would attack before you moved into cover.
Will you tell me if I'm dead or not?
The cockpit explodes with a crack grenade. Now, the crack grenade has the penetrating, or crack rocket, crack missile. It has the penetrating and dangerous qualities. It is one zone away. So what I need from you is I need a reflex agility check.
I have
You get
lot
one
to
from
say
me as
about
well?
Crack rocket.
Since you are not taking cover where Roderick is, the blast is small enough that I'm going to say no, because it's just impacting the cockpit.
I got lucky as shit then.
Yeah, it's just when I triggered these at the end of last session, the rocket was going to the cockpit because, candidly, I can pull the veil back. The NPCs don't realize the pilot's not in the cockpit.
Don't lie. You wanted to blow up that cockpit because you didn't want us to RP with that NPC.
No, but that's a really good thought process. That's actually really good.
Oh boy.
So the crack munition have high damage and penetrating trait. You are one zone away from an explosion. So what I just need to know, how's your test?
Not great.
Oh shit!
Do you have any?
I do. I'm going to spend one to reroll. It was a 94, so I'm going to reroll that shit.
Yeah, reroll that shit.
We don't get any sort of superiority benefit for that, do we?
No, superiority is used when you attack.
Oh, okay.
Well, actually, you know what? Hang on. I say that. We've only ever used it to attack. Let me double check that. Because Roderick has not yet attacked. So, I mean, not that
I think
94
technically
helps.
it just relates to any combat-related roll.
I think it is
what
any
says,
combat-related roll. I think you're right.
Eric!
Well, depending on what you tell me right now, could spell the difference for my fate. So
superiority is on page 196, yada, yada, yada. Effects of superiority. You can use superiority to gain an SL bonus to one test of your choice per turn. We just never used it defensively last season.
sick. So I can use it?
You can use it, because you should not use it on your turn yet.
That's really good news, because I just rolled a 65 out of, where's my reflexes? 56. So if I can add it, then I pass.
You absolutely can add it. You will pass with a +0.
Hell
what
yeah.
that means. Too close.
All right. So what we're going to say is, as the cockpit...
Still going to hurt.
That 10th of a second where you see it's like that slow red and black striking, you dive back. Like Osiris, you see as Roderick just goes, oh shit, and dives at you away from the cockpit. The cockpit itself explodes into a blast of glass and steel. Dmitry, Mordecai, you guys see this. Now, you were one zone away because the cockpit was its own zone. So you were one zone away already, and you succeeded on your test. I'm going to rule in this particular case, because it is a crack grenade, which is a small explosion. It's anti-armor piercing. Since you succeeded, you are not going to take any damage because you see it and you go, oh shit, and you dive behind the other part of the ship, which protects you as well.
So I wasn't in immediate vicinity. I was in adjacent to immediate.
You were one zone away in adjacent, which would still take damage had you failed. But since you succeed and you're diving behind additional cover that will stop the blast in that direction, you're okay.
Pull your socks up.
No damage.
Pull my socks up for sure.
No damage. You are not dead. You did not die. Once again, you are skating by the skin of your teeth when it comes to explosions. So, after Roderick, after having seen this explosion, Dmitry, it is your turn. There are no targets in your line of sight, and you don't see where that rocket came from because it's on the other side of the ship from you.
Okay.
But you did see the ship obviously explode.
Sure. Seeing that we are in an ambush, Dmitry, like a good soldier, is going to immediately fall back onto his battle doctrines and react to an ambush. So I don't see any targets.
You don't see any targets currently. The rocket, I can share this with you for your brain, right? Dmitry is northwest of the shuttle.
Yep.
The rocket that just struck the cockpit came from the other side of you, so it's fully southeast of you. You don't see where it came from, you just saw the effect.
Okay. So the enemy's directly in front of me past the obstacles, essentially.
It's a pretty good...
somewhere.
As an Astra Militarum trooper, you would understand that based on that, whoever you need is somewhere on the other side of that ship. Absolutely.
Okay, cool. Then I am going...
a fan on while we play. Keep going. Listen.
All right. So if we're looking at that straight line, me, shuttle,
Yep.
enemy somewhere past that,
Yep.
I'm going to head off perpendicular.
So you're here, shuttle's here, you're going perpendicular.
Yeah, I'm going to go perpendicular perpendicular to where I think the enemy is. So essentially, see
Understood.
me?
Yep.
I'm going to go like this. So at an angle to basically to pie the corner of the shuttle.
Yep. So if you're here,
as effectively as I can with the movement that I have.
So if you're here and the shuttle's here, you want to move kind of like that way to cut around the shuttle to get a line of sight ASAP.
And to also reduce the range between me and the enemy.
Absolutely understood. Do you want to take cover as well?
I was getting to that.
Stunted trees.
I mean, way to ruin my fucking talent that I was about to use. But yeah.
All right,
you just stepping all over my dong, dude. Like,
you know what? Sometimes it's what the GM has to do. Sometimes you've got to step on dongs, man. You move one zone. I'll say this. You take your one zone movement.
Quote from Brad. Sometimes you got to step on
some dongs. You move one zone basically to your southwest at this point. That's how you're going to cut the perpendicular diagonal to get in front of the wreckage of the ship, give you that line of sight while still moving closer. In the zone that you move into, because you are in a marsh, you could actually move a fair distance. The zone is about 20 feet that you move really quickly. Even though you are in a boggy, marshy, you're not sinking in deeply. Like your boots sink in less than an inch, right? So you're able to move pretty quick once you get moving.
All right.
The zone you move into is exactly the same as the zone you were in before.
For sure.
Stunted, twisted trees, nasty acidic water, rain. However,
before any rockets hit you, I just want to point out, if you have flak armor on, I've completely forgot I have it on. You would get +1 against any blast or spread attacks.
That's a good thing to know. As you move into that zone, I'm not going to make you test. So what I was rolling for was to see their stealth. And you actually see what appears to be a group of about 5 or 6. It's hard to tell based on the shadows. People moving off on the distance of like where that rocket probably came from.
Okay. Do I see any contrails from the rocket?
Not at this point.
No? Okay. No. But I see that group.
You can see the shadows of what appear to be a group of people, yes.
All right. I'm going to now use my talent, tactical movement, and I'm going to take cover as a free action.
There it is. Good. So you kind of like slide into the driest, I'm going to call it a tree well, but like root well you can find that gives you a little bit of cover. You're going to be considered lightly covered.
Okay. And for the final step of battle drill number 4, reacting to an ambush, I will be suppressing fire at that group.
Okay. Talk to me about suppressing fire. We haven't used that.
I have to. Yes, we have. But I have to
Let me rephrase that. We haven't used that this season.
Yes, we have.
Have we? This season?
I didn't get it until
You
this
know,
season.
I know it feels like a lot of weeks ago, Brad, but it was just maybe a day ago. So.
It's easy to forget.
You're
It was
right.
overshadowed by
It was
the
on the ship.
Resident Nuke. So
Oh, that's right. You had it on ship and the Resident Nuke took everything out. Yeah, okay. So suppressing fire. Walk me through it again just because I'm an idiot.
God damn it.
I make a range test.
Yep.
I'm not targeting anybody. I'm not hitting anybody.
Right.
And then they have to make a fear test against the value of my range test. And if
Beautiful.
they fail, they are restrained.
Make that test for me, please, sir.
Huh, that's pretty good. So 15 under 47.
15 under 47, so we're at a +3. Okay. So I need to make a fear test.
Do I get that superiority still?
If you want to use it for this test, because you have not used it this turn, yeah, you should.
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Kind
So
of
I'm
like
making a +4.
yeah.
All right. So they don't have a.
They take a discipline fear test.
They don't have discipline fear, so we're just gonna use discipline blank. Just plain discipline. I need +4. Fuck, that's borderline impossible. So we can get. I'm gonna roll 2 for each of the 2 groups of folks. Just breaking them into like small groups of 2 and 3. Absolutely not.
Counts.
Nope. You don't want that to count. I play that it's always in the tray to be fair, because you don't want them to start counting when they're on the ground. Okay. Dmitry, talk to me about your suppressing fire. What weapon are you using? What does it
My
look
las gun.
like? Las gun. See, okay,
What?
you get a +1 just for saying it right.
Oh man. Fuck these dudes.
Fuck these dudes. All right, so you pull out your las gun. Now you have a standard
Good
las
teacher's
gun,
pet
not a
over
las
here.
pistol.
Yep.
Talk to me about what your suppressing fire looks like.
Fucking
Give me a little
nerd.
little detail of like, if I remember correctly,
Oh.
you're using standard munitions that have like the green las bolt, right?
Yep.
Okay,
No, as soon as I take cover, I mag dump.
just dumping the whole mag.
I mean, the proper number of rounds for one squeeze of the trigger,
I'll tell
but
you
it
what.
is a pregnant squeeze of the trigger.
I'll tell you what. If you want to flip that bitch to full auto, and if you are willing to sacrifice 1 ammo and dump a mag, I will add an additional +2 to your test because you're going to mag dump.
Does
If
your
you're-
gun have
If you're
rapid
willing
fire?
to, las guns can be full automatic.
It is
according
rapid
to the
fire.
lore. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll
So-
do that.
Okay.
That's gangster. Fuck
I'm gonna
yeah.
allow this. I'm
Has
gonna allow
burst.
this because it's badass. So fuck the rapid fire rule. Fuck the burst rule. You just flip it to full auto. You just say hello to my little friend. Las bolts across the spectrum, and you watch as these five shadows turn, ducking, dropping whatever weapons they have, putting hands above their head, and they begin huffing it away.
No, they don't.
Suppressing
They're
fire.
restrained.
Oh, I forgot that there's.
Suppressing fire.
Those slippery little shits do nothing.
Those slippery little shits hunker down and go,
All right,
Help
so
us.
that
We're
means you're
being
gonna-
suppressed.
Yeah,
That was cool.
that's the title of the fucking episode. All right, so you suppress them; they're restrained. Oh God!
I thought the title of the episode was going to be "Sometimes You Got to Step on Some Dongs."
No, that might be in a quote.
Demonetized.
That's not the name. Yeah. All right, so they're restrained.
Our sponsorship has been pulled.
Dmitry, what kind of restraint do they get? Minor or major?
It's just ding dongs or pastries.
True.
It just says you inflict the restrained condition on
Okay.
your targets until the start of your next turn.
Okay, so if it just says the restrained condition, that would mean it's the minor condition, which means they cannot move, but they can take tests with disadvantage on any movement of any kind. Okay,
I would
that's good to know.
argue since I mag dumped and it was gangster as fuck that it's the major, but you're the GM.
He had his gun. Never mind.
You did go out of your way
Hit
to
it
make
sideways.
it badass.
I'm gonna say,
Yeah.
I will say this because you took the financial hit and you mag dumped. Yeah, I gave you a +2 to your test already. Here's what I'm gonna tell you, Dmitry. Roll me 2 dice. If it's hang on before you do it, listen. If it's evens, you get major.
Commanding.
If it's minor, or if it's odds, it's minor. So you're
Alright,
gonna play
that's
evens and
fair.
odds.
2 dice,
2 dice.
Any dice?
it's 10.
10, so it's even, so it's major. They're incapacitated.
Hell yeah.
Oh,
That's bad. They cannot move or take actions. They cannot defend themselves, and melee attacks against them are automatically a critical hit.
Time for Roderick Wrangler to go to work.
Walking this backwards, Dmitry, you watch as they all literally drop their weapons, grab the top of their heads, and just drop to the ground.
Perfect.
No discipline whatsoever.
I am screaming distance and direction at the enemy and fucking engage.
Okay.
Let's engage.
All right.
Full intentions too.
Dmitry, you are the bottom of the round. Roderick, you are the top of the round.
I sure am.
Hang on.
Unless something changed.
You're not the top of the round.
Something changed. Sad day.
The pilot.
I smell GM fuckery.
No, I smell a new enemy in combat.
Yeah, you know those worms that don't like sound?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, the
Pissed off
Asanati.
at Asanati.
Good thing I'm not shooting right now.
Just so we're clear on what's happening, I am hidden and have a silencer. Just
Yes. No, you're good. We're good.
So,
Mordecai, I assume when we play, I assume your silencer is on your sniper rifle until you tell me you move it to your pistol.
yeah.
And if ever,
He's
and
still
I'm going to
gonna
say that, I
remind
want to
you.
throw that out there now because if ever you tell me you pull your pistol and I don't know your silencer's on it, I'm assuming it's not.
Yeah, that's fair.
Just buy another silencer.
I wish I had some money.
It's a lot.
Cheap ass Halicarn would pay us.
Roderick, you're up.
So it is my turn?
It is now. You have no idea what happened. You're behind a ship that
Okay, that's cool.
just dove away from a crack missile. You know
I
what's going
assume
on.
I see where Dmitry's shooting.
You absolutely see where Dmitry's shooting, and he's screaming distance and direction.
No,
Coming
I'm
into the box
screaming like 50 meters northeast,
Yeah, distance and direction.
and then
That is what
a
it said, Mike.
flurry of. No, he said distance and direction.
I just picture now Dmitry literally screaming out, "Distance! Direction!"
Yeah, I'm
Hey, time out. Mike might
quoting-
like.
I'm
Mike
quoting
may
the
enjoy
fucking
playing-
manual like a dork. Word for word.
Mike may enjoy playing characters that don't have to be super thoughtful and just get to murder, but he's not an idiot.
No, this is
I know.
However,
Anyway,
this
I
is
now
for
have
real.
this image in my head of Dmitry literally screaming out, according to the Imperial Handbook, he is 16.2 meters to the northeast.
no. Both seasons, I have been operating off of the infantry handbook for everything that he does. So
I
just
know,
so you
it's
know,
actually
like,
impressive, and I love it.
you guys should be doing this.
I kid you not, how you play Dmitry makes me so fucking happy. So, Roderick, you're up.
Looking out from behind the shuttle and hearing Dmitry and looking at him, I kind of sigh a little bit to myself. I go, God damn it. And I'm assuming I see where he's shooting. I can run.
Absolutely.
How far away is it to
So, in
where
terms
he's
of
shooting?
distance, it's two zones from Dmitry, which is a zone from you. So
Just
it's
one zone?
No. Dmitry is one zone from you.
Okay.
He is shooting two further zones away.
Okay.
When you step out of cover,
So I can move one zone.
you move one zone next to Dmitry. As you're running towards Dmitry, you don't even see what the fuck he's shooting at, because with this level of zones with the obscurement, you don't see the shadows until you reach him. Once you reach Dmitry, you see the people with their hands on their heads, like leaning down and hiding.
Ooh, okay. I see what you're going with.
So the rain is creating a scheme where you don't see further than two zones.
Yeah.
From where you start, you just see Dmitry blasting, and you start running.
How
And
far?
as you reach Dmitry, you see them.
How far can one throw a grenade?
Great question. I don't know that answer. Let's find out.
I think it's a zone.
I think it's medium range, which is one zone away.
So, but I'm 2 zones from them
But
right
you're
now.
two
If
zones
you're thinking
away,
what I
correct?
was thinking, I was going to do this something similar.
Are you right after me, Osiris?
No, Mordecai is.
Mordecai's next.
Okay. I think
Mike's
it's
laying
medium.
out the
So I'm
manual.
just- I think I can maybe throw it at disadvantage.
Oh,
that
sorry. I was
distance.
checking grenades and I got distracted by something else. Grenades. You are. Let's see. Grenades.
I'm looking.
are
I'm
a-
looking.
I got
I've
it
got
right here.
explosive pulled up too.
Right here.
Thrown
Distance is medium. Yep. So you have a standard grenade, frag grenade, which is medium thrown. If you want to go beyond that, it is at disadvantage. Correct.
It says the range that can be thrown in parentheses. See page 212.
Yep.
Explosive.
So proud of you, Justin.
Crack.
You're in the kill box and you're reacting with grenades. Yes,
Special.
this is approved.
The Codex Astartes does not approve these actions, but I'm excited to see them.
Okay, so this one is thrown medium.
If you want to go beyond a weapons range, you can. But remember, there are
they actually in cover right now too, or are
no,
they just
they're in the same situation you guys are. Stunted trees and marsh. They're just
Oh. Well, fuck them. I'm just gonna shoot them with my pistols from here.
okay. So they are medium range away. What's your pistol's range?
Wait, they're medium range away?
They're 2 zones away. I'm sorry, that's long range. Excuse
I
me.
was
They're
gonna
long
say,
range away.
geez,
Long
yeah.
range away.
So it will be at whatever the disadvantage is for shooting at long range.
That's disadvantage.
Minus, is it full disadvantage or is it like minus 20?
So ranged weapons
Ranged weapon attacks, I can check too.
outside of your range is disadvantaged. Ranged weapons not designed to be fired in close combat. If you make immediate range is disadvantaged, and then in addition, ranged attacks, yada yada yada. Any ranges beyond the weapons range are disadvantaged. Page 212.
Okay.
So honestly, here's my thought. Here's my point as your GM. Grenades are more risky, but you're at disadvantage either way.
I'm just gonna shoot them.
Okay, good. I didn't want you to drop a grenade at your feet. Maybe it did.
That's a
Be kind of cool.
It'd be kind of cool.
2. Yeah, that's a 2.
Nice. So it's a 20.
Is that
Okay.
their feet?
Sir.
And you're firing one pistol or both?
I
I can't remember if you took a talent to fire both.
have ambidexterity, but I can't do dual wield yet. I
One
don't
shot
think.
then. Okay.
I'll do burst fire though for sure, right?
Ooh, okay, love that.
Burst trait. It's been a little bit since I've shot this thing, so give me a
Been a while.
sec.
We got to get into dice
When you
rolling.
use a
It's
weapon
okay.
of burst trait, you may choose to declare that when firing the burst rather than a single shot. If you do, you may add +1 SL to your range test and must reduce the ammunition of the weapon by 1. All right,
Yep.
that's fine. All right, so I'm going to add +1 SL. I'm going to shoot at the one I see that's closest to me. I'm not going to be weird with it.
Okay, closest to you. Got it.
And the damage on that will be from my... I'm going to say it, Brad.
Oh.
My Laz pistol.
Thank you. Thank you.
What a kiss ass.
I know.
Well, like an admission of guilt.
Yeah, basically.
Not really. I'm just looking for that +1 he gave you earlier.
Oh, no, you're not getting it. Mike got it because he has consistently said it the right way, and you guys drive me nuts.
Fine. My Laz pistol then. It's
-1.
5.
-1
5
your success
damage.
levels. -1.
It's 5
4 damage.
damage.
4 damage.
That's
and
not
then,
fair.
4 damage.
So my ranged pistols test would be a 53. So I rolled a 20. That's +3, +1 success levels, so +4.
Okay.
So that's 9 damage, right?
Oh, you
Yeah.
said 4 originally.
No, 4. Oh, yeah, it's 4. So 8 damage. Sorry.
Okay, so 7 damage because you said lays. Got it.
Shh. Do whatever you need to do, Brad.
Whatever helps you, Brad.
It's 8 damage. It's fine. Stop saying lays. It hurts me physically. That being said, you deal 8 damage. So you see as one of the people is crouching with their hands on their head, just like, you blast him and it just eats into his shoulder and you see the body kind of turn and fall into the dirt a little bit. I'm going to call it the dirt, but it's the slurry, the muck. Okay.
I'm going to listen for the...
You hear that.
That
Absolutely.
happens.
Yeah, that does happen.
Cool.
Okay. Mordecai, you're up.
Cool.
From your current angle, you have no lines of sight.
Oh, Brad, boo. I didn't
Dmitry
say
had to
lays
move for
yet.
the same reason.
Hmm.
I'm just
Stick with
I
me,
wanted
bro.
to tell you that now before you got super excited and then mad at me. Dmitry had to move for the same reason. You're on the other side
Okay.
of the ship at this point.
Okay. Now, Dmitry, where he's standing right now, does he have cover around him, or is he standing right in the middle of everything?
Exact same situation as your zone. Plenty of stunted trees, twisted warp that you can nestle in.
Can I kind of clockwise around this, sort of like he did,
Mhm.
to go towards the same side? And I understand that I can't take cover, but I'm
Correct.
going to stop next to a stump or something and peek down my scope and try to see if I can see anybody.
Oh, if you go clockwise one zone to be in the same zone as Roderick and Dmitry, you've line of sight on all 5 of them, and they are hunkering and cowering under. At this point, Dmitry, just because of the nature of what you're doing, Dmitry is still just holding the trigger and firing.
I want to be very clear.
Hell yeah.
I am not standing right next to these guys.
I'm
going
not
to
saying
kind of.
you are.
Okay.
One of the beauties of Imperium Maledictum is it prevents that needing to be said. You're still in the same zone. If something impacts the zone, it impacts you all.
Okay, fair enough. I'm just going to squeeze off at the first person I see then.
Okay, so I will say you can see the one that Roderick shot. He's bleeding. If you want to shoot that one, or there's 4 others.
No, other people need to bleed too.
Okay. Give me a number 1 through 4. Can't really tell anything discerning
4.
between them. 4 it is. Okay, give me a shot.
All right.
You have 1 superiority currently. Actually, I'm gonna increase that at this point. Roderick shot someone. Dmitry is hosing the trigger. I'm gonna increase the group superiority to 2 at this point.
Would me incapacitating the whole group be like a grip of superiority?
No, it's still only 2 because of things.
The situation is in our favor.
Situation is
That is-
absolutely in your favor.
9 under 46.
Nice. Okay, so you shoot
Hell
number
yeah.
4 to the right. 9 under 46 is a +4, which
Plus
gives you
2
12,
superiority, you said?
plus 2 superiority. So that's actually 14 damage, right?
14, yeah.
Head explodes. I'm not even going to make you roll for a hit location. I'm going to say you hit him straight in the head, and the head explodes like a melon. Body
Hell
drops.
yeah. Okay.
14 wounds? Absolutely. Body drops. Okay.
I
Anything
guess
else?
that's my turn then.
That's your turn. I mean, that's a very good turn. That'll bring us to Osiris.
I'm going to move out from the debris that is the ship into the same zone as the party.
Okay. So you follow the clockwise rotation. The 4 of you are now in the same
Yes.
zone. You have the same line of sight, 2 zones away.
And I am going to use my laser pistol to
Okay, laser pistol.
shoot at the guy who's already bleeding.
What's the range of a las pistol? Is it medium or short?
Medium.
So medium is going to be, so you're going to be at disadvantage because you're 1 additional zone. So go ahead and give me a ranged attack with the laser pistol at a disadvantage, please. And then also same
I
question.
got him to say laser pistol.
You did give me to say laser pistol for the both of you. Give me the question
I
I
didn't
have for
hear
you is,
shit.
are you shooting
Nightmade.
Are you shooting
I miss
the
it?
one that you did?
You
Are you
did.
shooting the one that Justin already shot, that Roderick
No, the
shot?
guy whose nose is hanging on by a nostril.
Dead already, bled out.
Oh. Then the other one.
The one that Roderick shot.
There's 5 other ones, I think, right now.
There are
The
now
one
only-
who's
there's-
still alive and bleeding.
It's 4.
There's now only 4. 1 is bleeding. Roderick's shot. Go for it. Last pistol shot on Roderick's shot. Go for it. Every once in a while, I'm a benevolent GM. I'll give a little laze here and there. Even though
No,
it
I
hurts
just
me
I
to
didn't
do
hear
it.
shit,
You
Brad.
didn't do that on purpose. I can't
Oh
front.
no, I did. It hurts me to do it, but it did. Listen to a single audiobook. You're all wrong.
Go listen to some Last
No.
Kingdom. He says all kinds of words
How do
wrong.
I
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
govern using a laser pistol?
So your last pistol is you're going to use a ranged skill, right? So you have your ballistic skill.
Oh yeah, ballistics. That's right.
Yep, that's basic.
Okay.
You may have a ranged skill underneath that if you put any advances in it. Ballistic is the governing attribute.
So I have 49 over 31, but I have 2 points of superiority.
Okay, so with a -1 plus 2 points of superiority, you'll end up with a +1 resolution.
Yeah.
Okay, so you succeed with +1. What's the damage of a las pistol?
That is 5.
5 plus 1 gets
How
you
do you get
6.
How do you have 5?
How
That's
do you
just
get
what-
5?
That's just what it has as default in the
For
foundry.
las pistol?
I might be looking at the wrong weapon, but that's
Might be. I thought a las pistol was 4. I'm checking right now. Hang
Oh
on.
no, it's 5. I said the wrong thing on my
yeah.
turn. It
Y'all,
really
y'all are confusing me and shit.
You got me fucked up, Brad, when you said 4 because it's the mags
I
are
was-
4.
My bad.
It's 5, so it should
I
have
was
been 9
actually-
on my turn.
I
But
was
carry
actually fucking with you because you said lays. So, all right. So, adding 1 wound for Roderick's attack. So, you have a 5 plus your 1 superiority, 6 more.
on. Dude,
Absolutely. You know what, Osiris?
Did you add the success level swing?
Not yet, but it doesn't matter because Osiris. Actually, yeah, he would have because the success level swing got him to the +1 because he was at a -1. But either way, it's your first one in Imperium Maledictum. How you want to do it?
Let's go.
So where was he bleeding from originally?
Shoulder, left shoulder specifically.
Okay, well now I shot his dick off.
Why'd you ask where he was bleeding?
Because I wanted to know. I didn't want to go overkill if he was already bleeding from the groin.
Okay,
I
to
would
make
have chose
sure he
somewhere
still
else.
had a dick to shoot off.
Dramatic effect.
This man is bleeding with his left shoulder. He like kind of pushes himself up and he like gets torso up out of the ground.
That looks painful. Here's a little trick to take your mind off that pressure.
The last bolt just skims the fucking muck and just hits him in the groin.
Sometimes you just gotta shoot off some dongs, man.
Sometimes you gotta step on him. Sometimes you gotta shoot him off. Christ.
Pelvic wound. All right.
Okay. All right. That's Osiris'
failed
turn.
successfully.
It hurts.
That's a great failure with superiority. It's a great failure.
Shout out from
it's
the
now
background.
for them.
Dickless buffoon.
It is now their turn. They're incapacitated, so they can't move or act or do anything. So with the suppressing fire going on for the rest of this round, they are unable to do anything. So Dmitry, that brings us to you. Now, your suppressing fire lasts for the length of your turn, correct?
Yeah.
Until the start of your next turn.
Until the start of my next turn.
Suppressing fire ends now. You're up.
Okay. We have 3 left, right?
4.
4 still. Okay.
4 still.
And
3.
Oh, I'm sorry. Mordecai killed one as well. 3.
Yes,
Yeah.
I did.
okay.
I scratch another line on my.
We have
rifle.
noseless and dickless, and then there's 3 more.
I would like to move closer so I'm within a zone of them.
Okay. Easily done. There is
All right.
the same thing, stunted trees if you want to take cover.
Yeah, I'm going to use my talent to
Okay.
do that for
So
Frizzle.
you'll watch as Dmitry goes running ahead, slopping through this mucky, acidic slurry. Okay. Take cover again behind a tree.
And they're all in like a trench or something like that? Taking
Not a
cover?
trench per se, they're just kind of,
A depression?
a depression of some kind.
Cool. I throw a firebomb.
Real quick, hang on. 2 things. Just to call this out before you do this. It is raining and you are in a bog. There's a lot of water.
But it's napalm.
It's still something that's going to torch. I just want to
Fine.
call that out before you do it.
All right. I'm within a zone.
You are within a zone.
You going to allow me to switch to my flamer?
Yeah.
Yes.
As you're,
Yes.
if you want to throw your fucking
Because-
las gun over your shoulder as you're running and switch to your flamer, yeah.
Double
Okay.
down on the fire.
Because
Let's go.
All right.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm more than good at
Water
this.
wants to play games. We're just going to make it irrelevant.
Okay.
Prometheum, bitch.
All right.
So, what do we got to do here for this? Ranged attack.
You boys ready
Is
for a
16?
barbecue?
16.
16 under
Holy shit.
47.
All right, real quick, let's talk about flamers because this is the first use.
Yeah, I got to look that. No,
Oh,
it's not.
second
It's a second
use.
use.
Second use of a flamer. Excuse me.
Am I
Again,
fucking dead to
Quentin.
you, dude, or what the fuck?
you might be.
Have you done anything
everything.
this season?
Literally,
The problem
all
is
my
every time-
contributions have been fire related.
Every time you bring out fire, Quentin drops a vortex, and I'm always just like, okay, well, here we are.
I mean,
I've never had to worry about your fire damage because the vortex. All right, so flamers. Here's the
kind
thing.
of like you to.
We're worried about it now, aren't we? So when it comes to flamers, they have a couple different things. Now you have a true flamer, not a hand flamer, which is even more badass. It is a long gun, has medium range. It has the traits of flamer, ablaze, loud, and two-handed. Now
And
the
spread.
beauty, as a flamer, automatically has spread. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
So both flamers have spread. So there's a couple big things with the traits. You have flamer, inflict a blaze, loud, two-handed. Now the flamer trait is what gives it spread. That's the cool part. And that's how this works out. So flamer, as a trait, says that it spews a stream of burning chemical liquid. The wielder can guide the flowing torrent of flame to set multiple foes ablaze. Attacks made with a flamer have spread and ignore cover. Instead of targeting a creature, you can choose to target a zone. I'm going to assume that's what you're doing.
That's what I'm doing.
Beautiful.
I was like, the
zone immediately becomes a minor hazard. So you don't deal direct damage with the weapon. You make the zone a minor hazard, which means on their turn, they're going to take hazard damage.
Yep.
You basically sacrifice direct damage, which is higher per one target, to wound a lot of people at once.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That'll happen. So,
Respect.
Go ahead.
But doesn't spread get multiple enemies in the same zone?
Spread. So the trait of spread would normally allow you to attack multiple enemies in a zone. Yes. The exact verbiage. Yes.
That's what I would like to do.
So you want to attack with the spread trait instead.
Yeah, I thought that's
Okay.
what I was
so
doing.
how spread works is you.
No, that's right. There's 2 different attacks with the flamer.
Correct.
I'm fucking that up. No, spread is what I want.
You don't want to attack the zone, you want to spread. Okay, so spread allows all creatures with an immediate range of your specific target to have to take a test or they suffer damage as well.
Yes.
That's what you want to do.
Yeah, sorry.
Right. No, that's all right. You gas the trigger. Give me a number 1 through 3. 2's in the middle.
3.
3 it is. And they're all in immediate range, so it doesn't matter. So you make an attack against 3. And then the other 2 will have to make a challenging reflex dodge test or suffer half damage. Okay, they gotta make a dodge test. You tell me how much damage you're gonna do.
All of it.
So
Ugh.
it's 8 damage.
Okay. Well,
And
they both fail.
I'm going to inflict a blaze.
Okay. So 8 damage. Now, did you include... What was your test roll?
I rolled a 16 under 47.
Well, it's still a range test. So what's the damage of a flamer?
8.
Plus 3 for your test.
Yep. Plus 2 for the superiority.
It means actually you're doing 13. To one target.
You
So
all
much
see the
damage.
fire reflect off of Dimitri's eyeballs.
So you watch as Dmitry literally pedals this trigger. The first person is ignited toe to head. All the
Do
way.
you have some goggles or something? I want to just picture him pulling his goggles down over his face. Just
I don't have goggles.
Yeah,
You
I
light
I
up
should
the
get
first.
some.
First person becomes a burning pyre. The other 2 both failed their test. So they're going to each suffer half rounded. I believe in this game we round up. So I'm going to say 7. So 7 damage each. You see all of them are now ablaze. So you're watching
And
these.
aren't
They're all
they
just
prone when it's happening?
yeah. So it's just
Or there's... No, never mind.
they're recovering from your suppression, which is now wearing off. So
Mhm.
they're all batting the fire off of them, trying to handle that. And the one that you've lit on fire, though they're ablaze, they're still alive for now. Don't know how long that'll last, but they're alive for right now.
Shoot a missile at me, you fuck.
yeah, do they have ordnance on them? Is that ordnance on fire?
Hold tight.
Yeah.
I said what I said. I'm
About to
staying
be.
here.
No, because they were suppressed and they dropped everything, the remaining missiles for their missile launcher are sitting in enough water that they're not cooking off yet.
Straight.
However, good God, Dmitry, you've left 3 people on fire. We're going to find out what happens to those 3
Damn it.
when we come back next time on the Tainted Hive. Thank you so much for tuning in and listening and or watching. We appreciate you joining us for the Tainted Hive Season 2 Children of Rokarth. Make sure to check out our show sponsor, PrimetimeMagic.com, for their lovely selection of magic singles that don't say the word lays on them once.
PrimetimeMagic.com.
They really are the best,
They-
though.
They're
They
pretty good.
have an explosive collection. They're on fire.
Don't be lazy about your advertising, Justin.
We're Dead Sun
Should I
Company.
say
We will
lazy?
see you next time. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Yeah, Brad, is it lazy or lazy?
Lasser.
Laissez-faire.
It's Lassie. Lasser.
The game.
Ah.